Howdy folks, TJ here. Something I've dreamed about on an Atari for a very long time is a higher resolution screen. Something that was more businessy. Something that gave me more desktop real estate. Because in 1987, when I purchased my Mega 2 ST from San Jose Computer in California, I had two monitors. I purchased the monochrome and color. I had a monitor master. I thought I was in the big leagues then because on the color, I had 640 by 200. And then on the monochrome, I had 640 by 400. And it was really nice for desktop publishing and writing of letters and stuff. But I wanted the colors, and I wanted a higher resolution than 200 lines. I needed something 640 by 480, or maybe something more like 1024 by 768. There's all sorts of numbers. It's very confusing with the Ataris and regular stuff because I think, if I remember right, the monochrome was 640 by 400, not 480. I'd have to go back and look at I have to Google it. 640 by 400, I'm pretty sure is what the monochrome was. And 640 by 200 is what the color was on a regular Mega 2. Now, the cool thing, and one of the reasons I purchased the Mega 2, is that it had a Megabus slot, an expansion slot that you could slap, in the future, a new card that would give it something different. And one of them was called a Crazy Dots. And then I think for the TT030, which is I'm running here, they had one called the Albert TT, or Albert with two T's. But for my Mega 2, I was going to buy a Crazy Dots. I don't know why that never happened. Maybe it was a monetary thing. I was fairly newly married at the time. 1990 is when I got hitched. So, yeah, maybe I just didn't have the money because I bought my first house and got married and so on. So for decades, I dreamed about having an Atari that had higher resolution. I wanted something that was 1024 by 768 or maybe even a little higher. So decades go by. I now own an Atari TT030 and trying to find a Crazy Dots or Albert on the internets is costly and hard. And fortunately, a new nifty upgrade board. If you watch my channel, you know that I now own an ATW800/2. By the way, the /2 I always think of divided by 2, which means it's only half of this. I'm just being a goober. It's a Friday. But anyway, ATW800/2 really does two huge things for both a Atari TT or Mega STE with a VME slot, or if you've got an older Mega style, they have a Megabus version as well. And what does it do? Well, it adds a cool Transputer capability, which I'm not, didn't buy it specifically for that, but it's nice that I have that capability if I should ever want to explore it. But it gives the computer higher resolution graphics. Oh, I so wanted that. So I got my name in on this list, and as you know, I purchased one. It's been a number of months since I've had it. I just haven't found the time to upgrade my TT, but today is going to be that day. And I'm going to take you through me upgrading this computer even more. Recently, not too long ago, I installed the Blue SCSI device, so I no longer have a hard drive inside here. I've got a Blue SCSI, which makes things a little bit more quieter. Although the fan in here is still loud enough, you could probably hear it through the video. But I want higher resolution. That's why I purchased this board. So I am ready to have my first experience. I've seen it at trade shows because I attended the Atari shows back in the day, the World of Atari. And I remember going to a booth saying, oh, look at all that desktop real estate. Look at all those graphics. It's wonderful. But I never owned one and never installed one, never experienced one at home. So I'm hoping everything works. It's been a number of months sitting in a box. I've got the card here. I installed the little bracket on the back yesterday, getting ready. I've got it in my little static bag here. We're going to, for the first time, I've never installed a VME card in this Atari, so hopefully everything goes well, but we're going to install it. We're going to try to load up this floppy. We're going to try to install said software on my Blue SCSI device. Hopefully, I can get a higher resolution. I'm thinking this particular TV screen, right now you're seeing a TT booted up as normal. This is the regular VGA display. I've got it on a 30-inch TV, a Westinghouse, and I went and checked the specs. This is a very old TV. No HDMI ports on here, but it does have a VGA and DVI. So what I'm going to be hoping to do on the VGA side, when you boot up this computer, you still get the regular Atari booting up in the VGA regular Atari mode, but then it's going to switch over to the HDMI, and then whatever I've got connected to that, I should hopefully then see the ATW800's output. So I'm going to have to use my little remote control and switch it over to the DVI port, and hopefully this TV can handle it. Supposedly this TV can handle 1280 by 1024 at max. It's recommending 1280 by 768 or something. So I'm just going to probably select 1024 by 768 in the display options when I load up this floppy. By the way, the little stickers here are coming off. I guess they're not too sticky. I need to stick it down. Anyway, we're going to go through the motions. So I'm going to turn off my trusty TT. I'll then turn off the camera, come back with the TT030 turned around, a little real estate made on the desktop. I'll try to show you as much close-up as I can. It's just a VME card, but I believe I need to remove the serial port bracket on the back, 2 screws, pull it out a little bit, disconnect, if I can get my fat fingers in there, the 2 serial port connectors that's currently connected to the TT board, and then slide in this VME update, put the screws back on, reconnect everything, try to boot it up, and then see what happens. Hopefully it works. So come back with me, and we'll come back to the desk ready to operate on my TT030. Okay, folks, we are now at the Atari. Did I start this recording? I did. I do that at least once a video because I often, I better connect this, make sure this little arm is a little back because I'm going to be shaking that screen left and right. Probably just moved it all over the place. This is the butt of an Atari TT030. And the upgrade should be fairly simple, but one never knows. Where did I put everything? Okay, everything's right here. So I've got my trusty little Phillips head screwdriver. I'm not going to show you a close-up of this, but I will, when I get this out, kind of bring the camera over. There's 2 screws here. This is on an Atari TT030. Mine did stock with a serial 1 and serial 2 port. This thing is serial ported out the gingo because it's got other serial ports on here as well. Where are the modem port, for example? So anyway, let's go ahead and I'm going to unscrew these screws and hopefully not lose them. And I'm going to need to repaint. So this little, I'll show you in a second, but the little bracket that came with the ATW, it was kind of a green color. It's not horrid, but it's not wonderful. I may at a future time take it off and paint it to something that matches the TT030 a little bit better. Do you like saying TT030 or just TT? TT sounds a little risque. So, a TT030. If it's a Sunday, say TT030. If it's a Friday and I'm feeling frivolous, it's a TT. Oh boy, okay. So this thing is already loose. And I'm just using my fingernails to kind of gently extrude and pull it out. Okay, it's got some long little serial cables on here that I need to disconnect. Now, I need a flashlight. I can't see diddly squat. So, hold on a second. Even though I've got that light there, I'm going to shine the light in here, and then maybe once I get these loose, I'll show you where they're connecting. Okay, it looks like there's 2 little... My head's probably making the camera go in and out. I don't see anything that you have to depress to pull out. It looks like 2 little, they're plugged into the motherboard pointing downwards. So I'm going to try to hold this with my mouth and figure my fingers in there and see if I can get one of them loose and then the other one. By the way, I do have my anti-static wristband on, but I didn't connect it to a ground. But I've been careful. I've touched all sorts of metal on the way over here. I've made sure I don't have zippity-zappity shocks all over my head. I didn't run over carpet and do all that crazy stuff. So, okay. That one came off pretty easy. Okay, 2. And that one came off easy. Okay, I'm going to rub my nose because I got allergies as normal. So this is what's come out of the Atari TT. Little extender. I'm going to have to put this someplace that I'll remember it. Maybe I'll keep this box and instructions and I'll put this in there because I removed it to put my new card in. Let me take the camera off. And I don't know if this will, it'll probably focus in. Oh, where's my flashlight? I'll shine some light in there. I'm trying to shine the light in there to where it shows. Okay, so you can kind of see in the gullet there. That's where the serial cable's kind of plugged in, just right behind there. You probably can't see the teeth too well, but oh, now I'm showing the flashlight in the back. But anyway, this is what it looks like. You'll probably see some of the pins in there. And anyway, this is a VME slot. I've never looked inside of one before. Okay, there's the little connector board in there. Let me focus in. Will that show it any better? Probably not. Oh, the camera's getting all wiggly jiggly. I'm trying to focus in on here. There we go. That's probably good enough. So that's what it looks like inside. So I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to reposition things and install this card. So hold tight. You ever see anybody use chopsticks before on a TT030? Always something fun when I'm doing tinkering with my Ataris. So when I took that board out and I shined the RS-232 little extender plate out and looked in there and showed you, all was good. And then I looked in there. There was like this long cat hair, dog hair, rat hair. I don't know what kind of hair it was, but it was right in the middle. And I go, I want that son of a bee out. I don't want hair there. Even though at a future time I'm going to take the case off and give it a good blowout. But so I grabbed a pair of needle nose. I go, oh, I can't quite reach in there. So I went and grabbed some chopsticks. Yeah, I eat a lot of Japanese and Asian food. And I went in there and I think like Mr. Miyagi catching flies. I actually got the hair. I didn't see it in here when I brought it, but I think I drew it back or it fell down or I moved it someplace else. Anyway, yeah, chopsticks and an Atari TT030. Who would have thought? So now it's upgrade time. Okay, so we're ready to plug it in. So we're grabbing, again, touching metal. I've got this thing on, but anyway, remind to be safe. We're going to grab the board. Did I start this recording? I'm pretty sure I did, but I'm going to check because I don't want to go through all this in it. And yeah, it's recording. Okay. If you've never been to my channel before, welcome. I'm normally pretty excitable, especially when I play with my Atari TTs and Atari. I said it earlier, TTs. Okay, I walked again. So is there any metal around here? I think I'm good. So let's grab the board, and I'm going to grab it by the outer thing. Anyway, I'm not going to start licking it or doing something crazy with it. And it should only plug in one way. So this is what this wonderful board looks like. The ATW800 divided by 2. That's the front of it. There's the little that's going to plug into the board. Here's the back of it. But I've kind of showed you all this stuff before. Oh, it even got the little Atari logo on the back there. That's kind of cool. So anyway, so let's flip it in the right orientation. And there's some metal kind of guides in here that you kind of need to slide up in on, so it kind of slides in straight. And I think I'm in those. It feels like an oven. You know, you got your little racks. So push it in. And then I'm going to hold over here, and then I'm going to give it a... Oh, that's not right. Look, the VME... that's not right. I must be on the wrong thing here. Is there one more down? Okay, now I'm in the right slot. No, I'm not. Shit. Shine the light. Where's the light? Okay, there's some little grooves on these little metal things. Now I've got it right. See, I was on top of it before. So there's some little metal brackets in there. I don't know if the picture showed it before, but now it's lined up. I'm going to hold over here and just give it a gentle push. I felt it snap and connect into place. Wonderful. Okay, now the screws. I still have them over here. Let's go ahead and screw this back in. Do the holes line up? That would be magical if it does. Oh, shit. Sometimes when you get older, the little screws and stuff, is it threading in? Where's the hole? I don't think it's lining up. Nothing's ever just simple and it just works, right? There's always something. I maybe got to shimmy it around a little bit. No, that one feels like it's getting in a hole. I'm almost 60 and I don't know how to get it in the hole. Damn it. Where am I? What's my problem? Yeah, there we go. I found the hole. It's in the hole. Okay, screw in. Now I don't need to put this on like a King Kong gorilla. Just slightly tightened enough. I always do mine just right. You know, kind of there, and then just a little bit more so it holds in. Kind of like, you know, on your automobiles. You want to make sure it's just tight enough. And it feels secure. So let me take the camera off here, and we'll show you what it looks like on the back. Focus in. So that's what it looks like. It's got the 2 USB ports, which in the book, I kind of read what they're for. I don't think I'll be utilizing those at this point, but I will be utilizing the HDMI port. And there is if you're on a Mega, the older Mega bus, you'll be able to utilize this SD card slot. You can't on the TT030, but I will be utilizing the HDMI port. So that's what this thing looks like on the back. There's these little, I don't know what these little things are for, maybe just to be able to grab it and pull it out easier. Maybe you could wrap a little cord around it. I don't know. But anyway, let me go ahead and get this connected up. Now that you see the butt of it, it is installed technically. I should have probably tightened these up a little bit more. I kind of did, but they're held on by screws on the other side. Okay, let me turn off the camera. Let me make all the connections and try to boot up and see what happens. Okay, I am back. The Atari TT030 with the card installed, all the cables plugged in. I quickly booted it up to make sure it booted up, and I created in XBoot a new set that basically is equivalent to my networking set, because I have this Atari TT030 networked via the LAN port. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I was able to get those LAN port to work with my Mega STE. So with old Apple Talk, Local Talk connectors, I have networked the two computers. That's the main one that I use a lot, at least right now. So I basically made a copy of that, named it ATW800/2, and we're going to boot up and then check out this floppy together and see what happens. So step number 1, let's go ahead and reboot. Let me make sure I started this recording. This is the most I've ever had that happen. Yeah, it's recording. So let's go ahead in 3, 2, 1, boot up. I've connected all my normal peripherals. We'll focus in on the screen when it comes time to look at the nitty-gritty so you can kind of see it together, but I will do my best to read it to you. So we'll let the computer naturally boot. The good sign is that it is with the card installed, and I basically have a pretty generic desktop at this point. I was going to do it under multi-TOS, but multi-TOS is kind of quirky, and I didn't know if any of these new drivers or any of that would conflict, so I have a fairly vanilla setup, but with color, and it's got the extensions or applications to network this TT030 with my Mega STE. I'm going to hit the space bar. We don't need to do memory. Let it go ahead and boot up for my blue SCSI drive. Make sure that it is on the ATW800, which it is. It does its countdown, or I can go down here and click on the arrow to do it quicker. And then it should boot up to the normal desktop, and then I'll focus in on the screen so you can see things together. I did insert the ATW, the sticker keeps coming off. The little sticky's not too good. So just to make sure I kind of flatten it down before I put it in, because I don't want some sticker flopping off when it's in here. We're going to double click on A, and then I'm going to go in and focus in on the screen a little better. Maybe reposition the camera just a little bit and enlarge, like Marge, enlarge, and then we're going to focus in on the screen, so I may get a little blurry or dark, but you should see the screen a little bit better, well enough, and I'll kind of read to you what I'm seeing. So on the A floppy, it says auto data Transputer flash ATW.TTP, an install program, and install our resource, lines app, and a README text. So let's go ahead and README together. We'll show, and we'll read this. It says, welcome to the ATW800/2 disk. This disk is meant to get you started and have a quick check of the card's basic functions. That is color, with a U they've added, graphics, and virtual transputer. The disk contains the installer program for installing the XVDI drivers to your Atari Mega STE, or no, Mega ST, and then a Mega STE or TT. It detects the installed CPU, 68000 or 68030, and installs all needed files into an existing auto folder. Please check the running order after installation, as the installer will put XVDI to the very beginning. So I'm not quite sure. Please check your running order after installation, as the installer will put the XVDI to the very beginning. I'm guessing it's saying it needs it there, but we'll see. We'll run with whatever order it's in, and then if don't book, we can change things around. Flash ATW.program can be used to reflash the build into TOS ROMs. That's the Mega STE only. Check the manual for instructions. The lines program will give you a quick impression about the speed and colors which you have in your Atari system. Inside the Transputer folder, you will find all tools to check out the Transputer functionality and demos. Read the README file inside. Do it. He basically, what's his name? Axel said, read the manual, read the effing manual, read the manual again, you twerp. Read the son of a bee manual. He wants you to read the manual. I did read the manual. Now, reading doesn't mean that we comprehend. Sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 times to comprehend something. I can read it, but I look for the pictures. So anyway, I did read it. So for full-blown collection of drivers, and examples, and more, please visit geekdot.com/ATW800_2 to download the complete file archive. Now, wouldn't it be a peach one day that I can connect to that www with my Atari TT030? I'm not there yet. I can connect with my little Y modem to BBS's, but I don't have internet connectivity yet on this. Maybe one day I'll get that little cartridge you can plug in to add it to Ethernet, or the Blue SCSI does have a capability to connect to network. Maybe I can connect to the internet that way somehow. Anyway, we wish you a lot of fun with your ATW800/2. End of file. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and double click. Let's just look what's in the auto folder. I want to see what's in there. FPGA BIOS, XVDI program, a menu information file, another XVDI menu program. So I'm going to guess it's going to slap some of this stuff inside by installing the program. We're doing that now. We're going to VDI installation on the C drive, which is my boot drive. Install. Floppy's a whirring. It's a checking. It's a doing. XVDI. VDI. Video something. Video definition index. Done. Okay, so it's done, so I can exit. Now, let's go look in my own... Oh, no, I don't know the floppy. Let's go open up C and see if I've got some new stuff in there. Auto. And there should be some XVDI stuff in here. Yeah, look, XVDI. There's a whole bunch of new stuff. So let's go ahead and reboot. And we're going to do a hard reboot. I'm going to keep the floppy in. Let's go ahead and shut it off. I'm not going to use the reset button. I'm going to do a hard reset. Wait, 10 seconds. What was that? Oh, I can take this off now. I don't need this little blue thing on me anymore. It's just going to cause havoc. Okay, turn it back on. Now, we'll see if it goes up to XBoot first or if it's going to do that VDI thing. I may have to check the order of things, but we'll see what it does. We're going to skip the memory test. Hopefully it's still focusing on the screen. I'll check here in a moment. So it is automatically bringing up XVDI. So this is where I think, technically, I can change over to the DVI port if this is working right. So input, and then go down and select DVI. Oh! Oh! Oh, it disappeared! Oh, shit! there was that XVDI thing floating around, and I'm now looking at what appears to be the video went out. Oh, it's X-booting! Do I stop? Well, it's stopped now. What do I do? I'm going to go ahead and boot, and let's see what happens. I may need to change the order of that thing again to go into X-boot first, but we'll see. This video looks a little crisper, but I don't see that selector screen anymore. So I need to get back there. So I may need to change the order of things to get back, but now do I click on C, auto? I want that setup program back again. Maybe I need to do the floppy. Let me see if the floppy will do it. Install program, lines, readme, auto. No, I don't think this is going to get into that. I need to figure out what that program is. So I'm going to stop the recording. So there's a brief climax without fully doing my thing, but I saw quickly that video screen and then it went out. And I think it's because I have things in the wrong order. So let me get my bearings straight. Even though I read the manual, maybe I need to move something around. So give me a moment to figure things out, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, I've got it to work. I did need to tinker a little bit with Xboot and make sure I had things in the right order. I do have the XVDI stuff at the beginning and then go into Xboot, but I was able to then get into that screen and select 1024 by 768 on the boot up that I did. And then I selected it. It should bring up that screen again. And then I saw for the first time a huge desktop on my Atari TT. So let's boot it up and see if this can be recreated so you can see, and then we'll focus in on the screen as well. But let's go ahead and boot up the computer. I do need to switch my monitor back to VGA, I think. Input. Shit. That's tricky. So I need to sometime. I don't know if my batteries are low on this. Let me do the old trick of this. You ever do this? I'm pretty sure the batteries in here are pretty fresh. It's not responding. It's like it gets a video signal and it wants to use that. And since it's not getting a DVI one, it's having a hiccup. So let's turn it off. We'll go into this first. Because, yeah, see, then it works. It's like it's grabbing something, and it says, no, you're not going to allow me to go to this input screen and change it back to VGA. Oh, shit. So I'm going to go to, oh, shit. I keep clicking the wrong one. VGA. Okay. Now I could get out of this. And now let's boot up. It should boot up into the regular TT030 VGA, regular output. Okay, good. Let me make sure it's focused. Here we go. Let me actually expand on the screen just a little bit. Let me open up your world of love here. You'll see it a little bit better. And focus in. Okay, cool. And I should have checked the recording right now to make sure it's recording. I'm pretty sure it is. Let's stop this. Now, what it should do is after it does the hard drive stuff here, it should go up to the XVDI, and then it stops. This is where I go to input on my remote and go select DVI and hit the right button. And it's going to bring up this XVDI screensaver thing. And then now if I hit my space bar, it should wake it up. And there it is. So here's where I use the arrow keys. I went and selected this. Now are there any other options? Right now it's showing, yeah, I think 1024 by 768 is probably my best bet. There is a 1280 by 800. I don't want that. There may be updates to some of this software. I'm just running off of what came with the floppy, which is months old. So I will go to their website and I'll check. But what I did is I went down and selected 1024 by 768 by just using the arrow keys. And then I hit 0 to save. You'll see output right now. One output method is XVDI without GDOS. I'm sticking with that at the moment. Although I guess if I hit 1, I can select with GDOS. Do I want to do that? Atari with GDOS. So let's go ahead and actually change it. Let's hit return. XVDI with GDOS. GDOS name. I don't know if that's on there. So this may not work. work. Let me not do that yet. I want to show you the screen first. I don't want to get into other complications. XVDI without GDUS. That's what it was on before. And I'll tinker with this offline and then get more familiar with it, because I wanted to eventually auto boot into this. I don't want to have to select this every time. I don't know if there's a way. But right now, logo timeout 20 seconds, menu timeout 10 seconds, and then I can sort, which sorts the resolution options. But I selected 1024 by 768, 65,535 colors at 60 hertz. And then to boot, it just says return selects resolution. When I do that, all of a sudden, the X-boot window boots up. Everything looks smaller now, right? Oh, I've got more real estate soon. You'll see. It's now booting up into my regular operating system. Mouse accelerator, all these things are booting up. I made a copy of the wrong one. I did it of my Duet, which is Duet's a program that lets you connect network via the MIDI ports. I don't want that. But anyway, it's booted. Look at this huge desktop now. I've got a trash can that's way the heck up here because that's where it used to be. I can now move it down to here because that's where I like my trash to be. And then I could go up to Save Desktop because this is the way I like it now. Look at the desktop real estate I have. Now, I'm going to need to play with the colors. I'm going to need to do some other things. Together today, we're going to try to boot up into NeoDesk and see what happens for the hell of it. But right now, look at, when I open C, I can drag and open this, oh geez, open this window. Look at how much space I've got. I've never had this amount of space on an Atari on my desktop before. So right off the bat, that's killer. Now there is that Lines program, wasn't there? Let's go open up A and run that Lines program. Right, Lines app, was that the one that I want to run? Lines app. Oh, look at all those fun things. It's taking advantage of the whole screen. It's just doing this fluctuating screen thing, but it is working fairly nicely with my 30-inch TV at the 1024 by 768. Very cool. Close this. There we go. Close it down. Okay, so that was the Lines app. Let's try rebooting. Now, I may need to get used to, because right now if I reboot, I think I'm going to get up to that same screen that it has a hiccup, and for whatever reason, I can't line out to something else, so I may need to do that. So let's go ahead. Also, I noticed, I'm rambling here, but if I hit the reset button over on the side of my computer, reset no longer works. So on a TT030, maybe the book said this and I just glanced over it, but hitting reset does not reset this in this current screen. I need to manually turn it off and then turn the input back to VGA, boot up the computer, and then we're going to try adding, we're going to do NeoDesk. We're going to see what happens with NeoDesk, just for the hell of it. And then we'll call this video a wrap because it's getting rather long. But I successfully installed the card. It appears to be working. I've got a lot to reread and relearn. But off of the desktop that I'm on right now, it worked. Okay, now I need to switch over to the right DVI port. XVDI, wake it up. And we're going to stick with this for now. So return key. X-boot. Now let's change. So X-boot, I had sworn I set it up under my networking. Maybe that's what my networking was. Oh, PowerNet. That's the one I wanted to actually do. PowerNet. So let's actually set up my PowerNet. So PowerNet is the one that I'm on. I'm going to go ahead and add these three. Now, I don't know if I need to change the order or not, but I'm going to save it. And I'm going to boot up under the PowerNet configuration here. PowerDOS, mouse accelerator. Okay, I booted up. So that's cool. So now I'm going to go try to do the NeoDesk one. So cool. I successfully now are running off of this. So let's try to do the NeoDesk next. And then we'll call this video a wrap. I'm taking you on a journey. Oh, okay, I need to go and do this. For whatever reason, I can't. Probably Axel, who will be watching this video, says, yeah, when you're doing that, that's it's grabbing onto the video and it's not letting me flip it on this TV. Maybe this TV is just unique in that it needs something to be able to let me input and change it. It wouldn't let me do it for some reason. Weird. Okay, stop that. Booting up. Okay, now let's switch to DVI. Okay, that's there. Boot up. Okay, return. And then XBoot, we're going to make a change. So we're going to go up and select, let's just select NeoDesk 4. Add the XVDI. Save. Go. Oh! There's not enough memory for this operation. Cancel. Oh, but look. Okay, so there's something else going on. But look at that. So I'm on NeoDesk right now. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of things I'm going to have to tweak, save. But right now, it does have me up to a NeoDesk desktop with all of these icons. Now, I'm just going to move them for now over here and save it and see if it comes back to it later off the video because this video is already getting long. But we're going to move these up to the top. I forget, how do you save the NeoDesk desktop? Is it simple? Is there something up under here like save configuration? Save configuration? Okay. All right. Do I have to do any of these window things? I'm just going to end it at that. Right now, I've got a huge desktop. Look at this thing. It's Herkin. I can see my C drive. There's some fun colors, some yellows that NeoDesk like to do, and the Atari logos. Is it focusing in on this at all? Yeah, you're probably seeing it well enough. Let me do this, and let me just do that, and focus in on the screen. And we're going to end it at, I've successfully upgraded my Atari TT030 with the ATW800/2. I've got a Herkin desktop. There's some learning to do. There's some setup to do. But I now have a wonderfully large dream of the day in reality now in 2025, I think we're still in. So anyway, thank you, Axel and team, for making this awesome card. It was fairly simple to install. I've got some stuff to learn and set up, but it is working. Can I run a program? I don't know. I've got some programs in here. Oh, this is let's see if AtariWorks works. AtariWorks 1.2, word processor, new application. I can desktop publish. I can Word Perfect. I think I do have a Word Perfect. Anyway, this is AtariWorks. Very cool. Thanks for watching the video and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.